It was Moses that showed up in Egypt just with a staff and shut down a whole civilization. It was Moses that walked for 40 days through the wilderness, and the visible Shekinah was walking with him. You could see the glory of God visibly for 40 days and 40 nights. It was Moses that opened the windows of heaven and collected angels' bread and fed men with. In the days of Moses, in the glory, the Bible said their garments grew with them, their shoe grew with them, and it said there was none feeble amongst their tribe. It was Moses that stood and said, except I'm not a man of God, let the earth open her mouth. And how did he know that the earth has a mouth? Powers. A point came, God himself addressed Moses. Exodus 7 verse 1. He said, I have made you a God unto Pharaoh. So the first man that walked in the stature of a God on earth was Moses. But what was the secret of his power? In Numbers chapter 12 verse 3, he said Moses is the meekest. That was the secret of his power. It was not a revelation, it was brokenness. He said Moses is the meekest of all men that walked on the face of the earth. In fact, a point came when other people who thought they were prophets wanted to attack Moses. Immediately the anger of God came down, and God began to warn a man for challenging another man, and he said, why were you not afraid? The stature this guy had was so tall into the heavens that God was asking another man, why were you not afraid of Moses? He said, other prophet I speak to in the similitude of visions. He said, but Moses my servant I talk to face as a man speaks to his friend. Why were you not afraid? The first man that saw the visage of God, he said, I will hide you by the cleft of the rock, and I will cause all my goodness to pass by. They say you cannot see my face because no man see me and live. He said, however, you will see my back. The question is, what is the back of God? Because when you look at God and the presence of God, every creature that stands in the presence of God has 4 faces. Because God, the glory of God, has 4 dimensions. That's why the office of Christ is 4. That's why the tabernacle has 4 sides, because the glory of God has 4 faces. So when God is looking forward, he's looking back, he's looking side, and he's looking at the other side. So when he said, you will not see my face, you will see my back, the back is also a face. And so when Jesus said no man has seen God at any time, what Jesus meant was no man has seen the totality of the oracles of God. But Moses saw the back face of God, and that was why he couldn't die. They had to do experiment with his body. When Moses died, even the devil came to take his body and to study it. But what gave this man so much power? Kings bowed before him. Moses didn't need to fight. When he walked through a city, the terror of God journeyed with him, that nations paralyzed.